Hey everyone, welcome to Processory. Today we're going to do a deep dive analysis into your business using process mining. Specifically, we'll be using an order to cash process, for example, and look at on time and first time right metrics. We will identify what are causing these metrics to fall and see what can be our improvement options in a quantifiable manner. For those who have never heard of process mining, it's a technique that uses event logs generated by your IT system to create a map of how activities truly flow in your processes. So let's go ahead and get started.
We're looking at Celonis' process mining platform here. On the left half of the screen, you see a map of how the process flows in this example. On the right top part, you see the total number of sales order items that are there in our example, which is almost 1 million. They add up to a total order value of $1.25 billion. They have an average on-time metric of 79%. So let's see how process mining can help us understand what's driving this 79% in a better way. So if you look at the process map and look at the bottom, you'll see this number 41%. What that 41% is telling us is that these 6 steps from receive order to clear invoice, they make up just 41% of all the cases being sales order items here. So if you zoom in, you'll see the number 404,000, which is approximately 41% of 1 million. And you see 94% over here. That 94% is referring to the fact that when the case has just these 6 steps in this order, there's an on-time percentage of approximately 94%. But as many other cases have some of the other variation in them, the on-time metric starts dropping. Let's look at some variations that take place and how they affect the on-time. So right now you see this additional step of change price. 26,000 cases go through this change price step, and typically they have an on-time percentage of just 56%. Likewise, around 168,000 cases go through an extension of confirmed delivery date, and those have an on-time of 53%. So what that's telling you is basically that cases that are going through these additional steps usually have an on-time of just 56 or 53%. That way you can see what the detrimental impact on the overall flow is because of each of this additional step that the process flows through. On the bottom right, you see a table where the sales orders are split by customers. So you see the number of orders, the value, and the on time for each of these customers. You can decide to look at these by material, sales org, or any other data that your processes have. Let's say that we want to look at cases for only Game Center. So we can select that, and now we can change this to show by plant. So what we're doing in essence is just focusing on Game Center customer and looking at all the plants that supply items that go to Game Center and decide to do a deep drill down for analyzing root causes of what's causing our variations and where they are coming from. Let's now look at the first time right metric. What first time right refers to is a process flowing through without any sort of rework taking place in it. In our example, we see an FTR rate of 58%. That means around 586,000 sales order items did not have any rework when it flew through the company. But on the other side, that means around 558,000 activities of all the total activities that took place were just involved with rework related tasks. To put that in context, if each rework takes around 10 minutes, we're looking at the equivalent of 46 employees in a year being dedicated just to do rework. You can decide to see what activity actually contributes to a rework. You see a bunch of pre-selected options over here where, change material, change division. They're all going in and changing things that should have been confirmed and selected on properly the first time itself. We can decide that, let's say, extend confirmed delivery date is not a rework and setting a delivery block is in fact a rework. So we can click on done and the software recalculates what the FTR rate looks like. So we're now seeing that the FTR rate has gone up to 77%, and in fact the rework activities has dropped down. This chart over here shows you all the different rework activities that you've selected and the number of cases they are impacting. Rework can also be looked at the same activity being repeated more than once in a case itself. So that's why if you look at create invoice, for instance, it's taking place 17,000 times in total, but out of that, 3,700 times it's taken place more than once within a case itself. Overall, if you look at the complete process map, you can see it's fairly complex looking, as most real processes are. So it's worth diving into seeing how we can simplify that using process mining.